the hardest part of this whole thing is waiting for people to come on. All right. Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of Down the Line podcast with Jeremy Humphrey. Today's guest is going to be Indian Creek head coach Mike Cottis. How's it going, Coach? How you doing?
Good. Good evening, Jeremy. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic here. We kind of talked a little bit before we got going here. And last year's episode, we were talking about the rain and not being able to get things going. And lo and behold, here we go. More rain. At least it's not as cold as it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we finally got the snow off the ground. We were lucky last couple of years with not a whole lot of snow. So once the rain got out, we could get on the field pretty quick. We're kind of up against it right now. This is where you really envy the guys who have turf, but we love our field. It's nice once we can get on it, and it was all redone in the fall, so we're excited to get started on it. We just got to get it to dry out.
Yeah, some of your players were telling me, the girls' softball field got turfed, and they were hoping that you would have made that decision to get your field turfed as well. But you said you wanted to get it redone and kind of have a little home field advantage with probably one of the only fields with.
Yeah. Well, to be perfectly honest, it's not my decision to be made.
Okay.
If it was that easy, yeah, we would have had it just because of the convenience of it. But
right.
Our district has put a lot of money into a lot of different things right now, and it's being talked about. It's just not something that's attainable in the next couple of years, I don't think. But you never know. You never know what funding may become available.
Right. There might be a grant that shows up out of nowhere all of a sudden.
And there's actually a lot of talk about a larger indoor facility that multiple sports can use, versus getting the turf right off the bat. So
yeah.
I'd be in complete support of that. That's something we need also.
Right. I mean, that'll give an opportunity for the football team when it starts to get colder and rainier and wetter towards the fall end to get some practices, softball, baseball to use as well.
Yep. Get some extra basketball courts and, all that kind of thing. So
absolutely. So how has your first couple of days gone with getting the boys back in session, morning lifts and everything like that? How's everything been starting off so far?
Oh, you know what? We lost 2 seniors last year, and we'll probably talk about that here in a minute. But their leadership was very valuable, and the seniors that are inheriting that job are doing a great job. Keeping the guys focused at our practices, and it started off good. We had a great off season, and now we got the basketball fellas and the swimmers and the wrestlers are starting to join us. So it's getting pretty packed inside right now.
Good deal. Now, first off, I want to say congratulations making it to the Final Four. Hell of a run. Let's just say it was a hell of a run that y'all made last year. What's the excitement like in the building? And do you feel that the kids, the seniors and juniors especially, are feeling a little bit more hungry to try and cap it off this year?
Yeah, blood and water for the Sharks, right? They got a taste of it last year, and they're excited to have the opportunity to try to get back. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
There's so many great teams around the area that have gone and then haven't been back in a long time, but we certainly feel like we have the talent to make another good run. But we still got to put in the work, and we still got to make the plays, and we got to find the holes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. With that said, again, going to 7 divisions, do you feel like this will make it harder or maybe even just a tad bit easier with the returning players that you have coming? It's never easy, obviously, but I mean,
yeah. Locally, we lose a lot of strong teams out of our division. So, I know Steubenville bumped up to 3, St. Clairsville bumped down to 5.
Yeah.
Those have been great competitive games over the years. And
Yeah.
so we don't have those obstacles, but there's plenty of others out there. We
For
still
sure.
have Cambridge and Carrollton who have some great arms coming back. You can go up and down the area of Division 4 teams now, and yeah, there's still plenty of competition.
Absolutely. I just we're going to take a look at the schedule here. I'm seeing them on the other page here. Still kind of getting the early morning sessions out of my fingers here because I thought I had this set up the right way, but here we are playing around again. Moving stuff around. Here we go. So here's your schedule. I don't know if Max Preps actually has the full-blown schedule on there. I feel like they always miss a couple of games here or there.
Right.
You start off at a home and home with Buckeye Local, and then a home and home with Brook. Back-to-back games, double headers right out of the gate with 3 teams here. East Liverpool, Coach May and them.
Yeah, those are all Buckeye 8 matchups.
Okay, who's all in the Buckeye 8?
All the teams we play back-to-back early are. So Buckeye just got back in.
Okay.
Brook is new to the Buckeye 8. And let's see. I can't really see that real well because
I would say Beaver Local. Edison's probably in that as well.
No, Edison is not in the Buckeye anymore. So it's our early schedule. It's the Harrison Central. I'm trying to think.
You got
of
Harrison
Beaver
Central
Local.
right here. See if I
Beaver
can.
Local. Those are northern teams. Those are the ones we have to play twice.
Okay.
And then the southern teams like St. Clairsville, Martins Ferry, Bel Air. Not all of them are on our schedule because we don't have to play them. UL, I think UL might be on there though. It's been a long time since I played the schedule, but we only have to play them. If we have to play them once if we want to. We don't have to. We can. We have that option.
Okay. Now I want to kind of give a feel for what you feel your opinion on this PBR event that y'all got going on at Oregon Clay area. You're playing St. Francis de Sales. What do you know about them? Are they returning anybody? I know PBR is kind of hard to get a feel for the teams because you're kind of playing outside of the area.
Yeah, well, PBR prides themselves on putting teams that they feel have college level talent. And that's who they put into their games. Toledo DeSales, they won I believe 19 or 20 games last year. I know based on what I read, they return a lot of arms, and they were state ranked last year, and so yeah, they were D1. So we're
oh nice.
Yeah, it's going to that'll be a tough matchup. But I think playing in games like this, last year we went to Chillicothe and played a very strong Ironton team. Doing things like this, not only does it build camaraderie when we go away for the weekend, but it builds character. These guys get used to being battle tested. And I think that really helped us last year when it came time for the tournament run, playing against teams like this.
Yeah, obviously anytime that you can get the team together and go out on a little, let's just say, excursion, what do you do to keep all the players together? Do you take them out to dinner? Do you take them to like an event to go bowling? What do y'all do anything to keep the team camaraderie going?
Yeah, when we went to Chillicothe last year, there was a really nice indoor facility right next to the hotel. So we went out to eat. We went over to that facility. We worked out as a team. Then we headed back to the hotel, and there was a swimming pool, and some of the guys were hanging out swimming and playing cards, things like that. And that's kind of the plan this year in Toledo. Although there's not a facility right by there, I'm waiting on a call back from one of the local coaches up there if we can use their facility, get some swings the night before, then just hang out in the hotel lobby. The parents it's bonding for the parents too, which is very important. The families being tight and rooting for each other's kids. Just things like that, little things like that help out the camaraderie.
Now, Chillicothe didn't have a lot of places to really go. Did y'all go to Roosters? That was like our place that we went to.
That was it, Roosters. Yep.
Yeah, Roosters. Yeah, it was It was a fun night, a fun experience, and obviously getting the boys to. I think some of them may even brought PlayStations to play their little Call of Duty or
Yeah,
whatever it is
yeah,
that they were
that's
playing.
popular. They'll bring it down. They'll game and you know, all I ask is they don't get in trouble.
Right. That's the key thing, Sunday, or Saturday night speech, as Coach Burke would say. So let's talk about the upcoming season. Obviously, you didn't really finish the way that you wanted to, and I say that by means you didn't win the state championship because that's everybody's ultimate goal. Let's be honest. Making the Final Four is great, though. It was a good run. I know this year the players are going to want to finish that off and actually come home with the big hardware this year. The players that you lost and the players that are returning, let's talk about them right out of the gate. Ty Householder, Sal Barkalow, Stan Amos, Nick, we talked about a little bit off the air. Tell us what you expect from these guys in the upcoming season.
Well, you're bringing up the meat of our order right there. You know, Ty has always been a fairly quiet young man. Just kind of was has been in the background, but let his actions do all the talking. He is one of the hardest working athletes that I've ever been around. I mean, he is nonstop working on the side. You know, whether it's at our practices or he's doing stuff on his own, and he's starting to become a more vocal leader, which is what we really need. And Sal Barkalow is the same way. Sal's very outspoken and you know, make no mistake, these guys want to win, and they're not taking anything for granted. And you know, those are the kind of guys we need to step up and lead this team. So really excited about the guys who are returning.
Good deal. What about your lower classmen, sophomores, freshmen? I know you have a good freshman core that came in, and you're also returning a good sophomore group this year coming in. What do you expect from them?
Well, you know, we had our parent meeting this evening, and one of the topics was the fact that we have so many fellows returning. You know, if you look at the semifinal lineup, you know, 8 of those guys are back. And the reason I say we lost 2 seniors, but Nikki Maurer was injured down the stretch, one of our seniors last year. And so, you know, we had to use him as a DH in the state semifinal game because of his shoulder injury. So we have 8 defensive guys that are returning from that semifinal game. So a young guy, especially a freshman, is going to have a real hard time cracking this lineup right now. With that said, there are some really promising freshmen in that group, and you know, we've really liked what we've seen in some of them. And I mean, these guys are baseball players. They're not just here faking it. They got the swing. They got some great arms. You know, so who knows what's going to happen down the stretch? If somebody's not producing, maybe one of these young guys have to come in and pick up the slack. We do have, you know, there's 3 sophomores that are on our radar right now that could get some time, you know, especially on the mound. Max Lane looks really good. James Brothers looks really good throwing. They're both working out at 2 of the spots that were vacated, second base and first base. So they look promising, but you know, the guys that are returning, they're gonna get first crack, and we'll see how it all shakes out once we get outside.
Yeah, Max Lane and James Brothers, 2 names that I'm pretty familiar with. I'm glad to hear that. What do you think is the strongest position going into your upcoming season, whether it be your presence with your upperclassmen, your lower classmen coming in, a certain position, whether it be pitching? What is your strength coming in this year?
For the first time, this is year 25. For the first time, we have every arm coming back. And I hate to point out a strength because it always seems like that jinxes something. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my list of guys here, and you know, Silas Hyde's returning, who had
9 wins last year.
Yeah. Sal Barkalow, the senior, Gavin Pinnell, who's been our closer since he was a freshman, Trey Feast Windland, who threw a lot of innings last year for us. Hunter Allen is a senior. Mason Lester's a senior. Those guys are going to see some innings. Stan Amos is starting to develop into a really nice arm. And then, of course, Lane and Brothers. So, there's 9 names right there that have really stood out for us as we're starting to throw off the mound and everything. And there's a couple others that can step in. So we're excited about the depth of pitching.
So depth at pitching is your strongest position. What do you think is the weakness, or not even really so much the weakness, but a concern area that you feel like you have to put a little bit more work into these winter workouts?
Probably middle infield, and it's not that we don't have confidence in the guys that we have. It's when we have to move guys around because of pitching. So,
right.
For example, we bring Gavin. I really hate to use a shortstop, take the shortstop out of his position, but
right.
Gavin's a tremendous shortstop. When he has to come in to pitch, our job right now is we got to develop somebody that can make the plays behind him now. So I worry a little bit about the depth only because it's young. So, but we'll get it straightened out. I have confidence in those guys.
I mean, I figure, do you have enough to have a freshman team, or are you just going to stick with JV and varsity?
Well, we have enough freshmen. We don't have enough sophomores. So I could do just a freshman team on certain days. And some of the sophomores would stay home or whatever. But I don't think we really need to do that. We're lucky. We have 34 guys in the program. I know a lot of schools, they don't have enough for a JV team anymore. So yeah, we're fortunate that we have a lot of bodies, and none of them are slouches. They're all ball players.
Yeah, you do definitely have some talent there. Now, what do you think you need to do to make sure that everybody's getting reps if there's a lot of teams around here that don't have JV rosters, what can you do inter squad or just pick up scrimmage games between each other just to make sure that some of your underclassmen are getting some reps? That way you can see them live and different things like that.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that. We're with all the arms we have, we're fortunate that when we do break up into a red and gold scrimmage or whatever, that's going to be very competitive. We're not going to see, necessarily JV arms. We're seeing guys who could be in anybody's starting rotation. Right. So yeah, I mean, we're going to get a chance to look at some of these young guys against varsity caliber pitching every day in practice once we get out.
That's a key thing. Do you still have the same coaching staff? I know you said one of your players that just graduated was still going to come back and help out the program as well. All the other guys are still intact. Everybody's returning back.
Yep, all the coaches are back. We've had these guys. I think the shortest term of one of my assistants is probably about 12 years. Whew. So these guys have been around for a long time. And then Landon Pinnell, who just graduated last year, he's back and he's helping. I said, take the first. We have four guys working at first base right now. Take them. I want you to make them as good as you were.
There you go.
And he takes them off to the side, and he's always constantly working with them. And he's just a good presence to be around, because these guys, even though he's a recent grad, they look up to him. He's a great leader.
Good. That's always good. I hear your junior high program. They've got numbers as well. I know Spees and Brothers are running that program right now too. The 8th grade class may not have a lot of numbers. I think you only had like 4 or 5 8th graders, but the 7th and 6th graders that are came out with full force. What are you involved with that? Do you follow what goes on with the junior high program as well?
Coach Spees and I, we talk, we text back and forth. They come in and they use the gym after we're done. But as far as the games and everything, we're all playing at the same time, so it's really tough to really manage any of that. So yeah, I kind of leave it all to him, and I trust those guys. Their boys are all good ball players. I trust them to develop these other fellows too.
Yeah, I just didn't know if y'all had a certain time during the day that y'all kind of go over and talk about how the games went, how practices go, philosophy. I mean, you trying to have them teach the same philosophy that you go through with your teams?
Yeah, we'll get together on that stuff down the road. We haven't yet. I mean, they're kind of in the infant stages of their practices so far this off season. Right. But yeah, I mean, we're working on letting them use our field when we're done with it. It may be a little maybe an hour after our practices or something, whatever daylight will permit. Right. They're going to use our field to play on, which that sounds like, well, sure, they would use your field. Well, it's tough with it being natural.
Yeah.
Turf, the other guys, they can just run right on and use it. So we're working together, so taking care of it, things like that, and trying to keep everybody involved together.
Right. Now, do you have to share the building with softball while they're going on, especially in inclement weather like today? Do you have to split time with softball as well, or do they have an own?
Yes, we have an every other day kind of system going right now. So they, like, for example, tomorrow they're in Cross Creek Elementaries where we have our cage and everything. They're in there tomorrow, and we end up going over to Ty Householder has a cage at his place, and we go over there and use that because softball's in there till like 7:00, and it's the boys want to get their workout in and get done. So we'll go after school and get our hitting in and everything, and then like this evening we were in there in softball. They weren't out. They were out at another facility where they go hit.
Yeah. So I was talking to Coach Valesco last week, and we were kind of talking about Trey Rex and Tristan Nemeth and how they entered the transfer portal and the communication that he has with his college players. This is only my second year doing this podcasting, so I still don't know a lot of players that have gone through your program. Aiden Orr is obviously a name that I've become familiar with. He's still at Oakland University. How's everything going with him? Do you still communicate with him right now? And
yeah, he's he comes to some of our off-season stuff. He'll pop in when he's home for Christmas break and get some swings in. And he's doing good. Oakland's struggling a little bit right now. They had a change in coach, and I think they might have lost some of their, because of the transfer portal, I think they lost some of their guys from last year. But he's getting to play every day in right field, batting second in the lineup. He's doing what Aiden Orr does.
Yeah.
He's stroking it. We got Jack Amos that's playing at Bryant and Stratton Community College up in Northern Ohio. And he is absolutely killing the ball. And he's getting a lot of looks from D2, D1 programs to move on after this year. Then we still have Cy House playing at Bethany. Josh Speaker's playing at Bethany. He's in his last year finally, the old man.
I forget about Speaker sometimes. I know that there's a gentleman that I do lessons with for fielding, and Josh is his hitting coach. So we always try to communicate back and forth with each other just on what we're doing with him, with a player. And we've reached out to him a couple of times about trying to get him away from the Diamond Dogs and come out to our program to kind of coach one of our teams. So, but he seems to be dead set for that dog strong stuff. And I know you got a lot of players in your organization that goes up there as well. I think Aiden Orr was one of those kids that's a Diamond Dog player. Yep. And then Parker Heath, he's a dog guy. So, not a bad.
You know what? Diamond Dogs, Outlaws, you guys, as long as they're playing in a quality program, they're playing somewhere, and pretty fortunate these guys all do buy in and they play over the summer. I mean, we have some serious college prospects on our team right now. Hunter Rusnack's a player. I'd put him up against anybody in the Valley behind the plate. He's gutsy. He's not the biggest kid in the world, but he makes up for it with his heart and his hustle.
He's a scrapper for sure.
Yeah. We talked about brothers and Max Lane, and there's another sophomore, Luke McVicker. Those guys were in the weight room every chance they could get over the winter. We got a guy named Eddie Kostecki that runs our strength program in the mornings. They work out before school. They get there at 6 a.m. and they hit it hard. And those guys are there every day.
Yeah.
Stan Amos, one of our seniors, he's there. Half the time he rides a bicycle to his workouts in the morning just to get there, and just solid group. Ian Starkey, Gavin Pinnell, those guys are wrestling. So they're going to come into us in shape. And
you got one swimmer, if I'm not mistaken, or two swimmers. Rusnick's a swimmer too, but then you got Tic Tac, who's a swimmer as well.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Those guys swim. So,
that's good shape there.
Yeah. I want these guys to play other sports, work other muscles out. Yeah. Go swimming. Yeah. They come in. They don't come in out of shape, and you'll hear them sometimes talk, well, I'm missing time in the cage or something. You'll get caught up.
For sure.
You're good enough. We'll get you caught up.
I'm sure there'll be ways to find a cage for him somewhere to be able to get it, especially if Householder has his own little cage. I'm sure that he'd be willing to have some guys come over and do some stuff after practice. I'm
Oh, he
sure.
does. He's got Bodo under his wing right now. He's bringing Bodo over there to hit. He's had Jason Ed over there hitting all the time. Jason's a real promising. He's a senior and he's a DH candidate right now. It was his first time out last year for a couple of years, and he was very rusty last year. But he's worked really hard this offseason. He's another one that's been in the weight room nonstop, and so we're excited to see him go up against some live pitching and give him.
I forget about Jason Net. You know, he was one of those Toronto guys, and then transferred out there to you guys. You know, sometimes when they transfer and you don't see them for a while, you forget about them. And then when football comes around, you see them walking around the football field or at Titan practice or whatever. You know, he was always a guy that I had circled on our roster, a potential player at third base, and his bat, obviously. So I'll be watching for him as well. I hope that he does really, really well.
Yep.
We're going to finish up here, Coach. This right here is going to be Tri-Bees Coffee Shop in downtown Toronto, Ohio. They're open up 7 days a week to serve coffee, espresso, Lotus energy drinks, teas, smoothies, even cocktails. Yes, you heard it, cocktails for adults and boba drinks for kids. Open 7 days a week. If you do happen to go and get a cup of coffee, obviously white chocolate, blackberry, hot or cold, doesn't matter. That's my go-to. It seems to be the choice for me. Have you ever had Tri-Bees, Coach, coffee?
I have not. No.
Next time you're in town, you're gonna have to come and try it out. It's they've got a lot of specialty drinks. My wife drinks a gingerbread latte, and then they've got just an assortment of just different flavors and all types of drinks to try out.
I need to check out Squids also.
Yeah, Squids wouldn't be a bad place to come down as well. My only knock on Squids is they don't stay open late enough sometimes.
Oh, yeah. No, you're already past my bedtime right now, so that's.
I figured. Somebody asked me today. They were like, "Hey, we're playing old man basketball at Carafa. You want to come down?" And I was like, "Man, I got to eat with Coach Cottis." I said, "I don't know how long that's going to last." I said, "I'll try to, come down after that, but there's no guarantee." And they're like, "Well, move your podcast to a different time." I was like, "I can. I'm already probably in bedtime area." I was like, "I can't do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
So with this last question, I see the Pirates gear behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you expecting out of them this year? A little hometown loving.
I'm with Jason Kendall. I'll be shocked if they're not in the wild card at the end of the year.
Yeah,
they got the pitching to do it. Obviously, everybody's like they're mad they didn't go out and get a big stick, but they're young talent. I'm optimistic. I'm a diehard. Yeah. I'll be heartbroken and probably by June 12th.
Right.
But
you sound like Coach Perkins. Every year he walks through the door and the door will bust open. 162-0. That's what we're going. And then they lose the first game, and he's like, "Well, I can dream."
Yeah.
So I know that the Rangers come in town in the middle of June, I think. And obviously, me being a Texas boy, that's kind of my squad. So I'm gonna try and catch at least a couple of games. I'm gonna try. We have a tournament that weekend too, but they come in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think. I'm gonna try and catch a Ranger game down there, and hopefully they pitch the guy, the man, the legend, so that way I can see him throw live for once. I haven't seen him throw live at all. Skinks, no. I haven't seen him, no. So I'd like to see him one time.
Yeah, we saw him last year.
It's just hectic. Like every time that they get a guy that's good and he pitches in on the mound, everybody goes to that one game.
Right.
And then you try to go to another game and there's nobody there, and you get to move up and get good seats. And it's like, pick your battle. Do you want to go and fight everybody, or do you want to go and enjoy your evening and just relax and watch a game?
Right.
So,
yep.
All right, Coach. I appreciate the time. I know I got you past your bedtime, you said, so I appreciate it. Staying up late with us. Good luck to you. Hopefully I'll see you around the ball fields. And if not, hopefully we can get together this summer and you can come hang out with the guys, especially your Creek kids that are with us this summer, and kind of hang out with us.
Yep. Sounds great.
Thanks, all right, man. I appreciate it. Good luck to you, Coach.
All right. We'll see you. Bye.
See you.